I think part of why it's so difficult to remain in the equal position with another person when you're faced with difference is because of the pushback against noticing inside that, for example, what you were saying about sending your child to a particular university or school, and your neighbor homeschools and you send them to school. If you are confronted with that difference, maybe you have been wrestling inside with, am I going to send them to school and am I going to send them to homeschool? And you convince yourself with some sort of argument that no, going to school is the right choice. That's the right choice. I picked the good one, right? And then you're confronted with the difference of the person who's chosen the other thing. You don't want to be reminded. One way of thinking about it is you don't want to be reminded that you had any kind of doubt. You want to be certain in your choice. And so when we are confronted with the difference in other, it is a mirror to remind us that we are not so certain and sure. We are not just one thing inside. We are not just pro school or pro homeschool. We are a mixture of all those things, and we don't like to be reminded of that. And again, we can link the level of our discomfort with that back to childhood and how we were either facilitated to notice that inside ourselves as something that is normal and healthy and useful, or it was banished and we must pick one or the other. So building up the ability, that's why I go on and on about noticing and holding mixed feelings together, because that is how this starts. It's not just that you only feel love for your mum in that moment. You might feel love and rage. Let's see if you can hold them together. Let's just see if you can have them together. You don't have to pick one over the other. So it starts there. And when we learn that we must pick one thing, we must be solid in our decision making. Anxiety is the signal to let us know that something's threatening that. Something is rising up into our conscious awareness of, oh, remember that little doubt that you had about sending your child to school, that actually homeschooling might be good for a variety of reasons, but you've pushed that aside, or you've convinced yourself not to take that seriously so that you feel good and certain inside. And you don't have to live with anxiety every day that you send your child to school thinking, well, I don't know 100% that was the right choice. It's just a choice I made, and, and you don't want to be reminded of that. So that is really, really key. So when we talk about focusing on the intrapsychic in the therapy that I do, that is the reason why, because it is what helps us to be able to be with difference in relationship, because the commonality, the equality, is the noticing that you are just like me, and that you have a whole lot of conflictual motivations and feelings and ideas going on at one time. And because of the practicality of life, we have to make decisions and action things sometimes, but that's not I don't have to dominate you in some way. I don't have to put you down or write you off as a person to ensure that I feel less anxiety about the choice that I made. I just notice that, oh yeah, here's someone else who's homeschooling their child. That does remind me of sort of my uncertainty about the decision I've made with my children. Doesn't mean I'm a bad person or a bad parent. It's that I think that we find very difficult to be with in relationships. I mean, you think about a marriage, there's a million of those every day. I don't know, this is how I wash dishes. This is how I wash dishes. It's difference. My way is the best, and I'm going to convince you why. And when you don't take that on board, I'm going to belittle you about it. I have to be certain that my way is the best way. So yeah, I wanted to bring that piece in. Building a person's capacity to be within a complexity is what will allow them to not be so, if we use the word triggered, by moments of difference outside them. So they may very well still feel anxious, but it will be within a tolerable zone. So yeah, I think it's helping people to have moments of honesty within themselves, that they have a mixture of feelings about things. And that can include, and often includes, what it's like to care about and love someone and notice all these other feelings that go on at the same time without having to abandon the love and positive feelings.